And welcome back. Yes, it's Redbane TV again. You thought we were gone, but nope, we're back. Thanks to disease. Well, yeah, you know the context because I'm only talking to you because you, sir, are the only one that's ever going to watch this. By the time you see
The
this, you
cat.
will know how it turned out. I live in ignorant bliss right now. Anxiety, bliss
Future
at
Nick, we love you. You're doing a great job.
future Nick. Let's talk for a second, buddy. No matter what happens. That's all. I don't have anything. That's all I have to say. I don't
Future
have
Nick,
anything.
I want you to know that despite whatever deficiencies you think you have, you're an excellent storyteller. So no matter bumps in the road, it's always entertaining because you're a good storyteller.
Aw, thank you. That means a lot, and I love you guys. All right, here we go. Come what may. All right, last we left off, you have just finished your adventures at the Monastery of the Seekers, where you scoured the island searching for their secrets. You found many tomes and scrolls in their libraries, from which you learned new skills and more about the history of this shadowy order. You fought off a pair of cliff drakes, and then you dove into the mausoleum below the island, where you found the Seeker captains and the Seeker Lord Liran Fenyor himself and his wyvern Bazrosh buried, and where you very nearly each tasted death. But you prevailed.
I mean,
The other two for sure. But you prevailed and came away with no small amount of treasure and a few more pieces of the Seeker's mystery, however disorganized they may be at this time. But you did learn how their order was defeated the first time by the hand of an elven master named Sholone. And now, a small, hardy fishing vessel called the Emerald Vale has arrived at Monastery Island, bearing the Larkspur's quartermaster, Rhea Narva, and your esteemed guildmate, Scarlet Ashford, who comes as the bringer of bad news. So you three, plus Vissa, Bracken, Valdemar, and Elizabeth, have just made your reunions and introductions, respectively, and there you stand in the lightly falling snow on this cold winter morning. What would you like to do?
Would like to speak to Scarlet.
I'm here.
Yes, I had meant to send word to you on, goings on and why we hadn't returned, but
Yes.
we got a
You've
bit
gone
distracted.
I have heard a little bit about it from Rayed here,
he
and
wrote letters to you every day, just never sent them.
I'm sure that you did.
Did not do that.
That's very up your alley, isn't it, you? So, Rayed, we should be off then. I sense the weather won't be very good most of the day. Yeah, let's make off. He waves to the captain back at the helm. It does Red, and you see back there a stout, portly looking halfling with a beard and braided into several twines all the way down to his belly, and he's got a sturdy axe at his side. He, "Where? Let you go, guys, in." And the rest of the crew is a mix of human, halfling, half-orc, various peoples, denizens of the northern isles of the Vedran and Caswin. And you guys begin to make off for Bervik, from whence these guys came. Back into the chambers then. We've got a bit to discuss.
Yes.
Let's go. It's getting cold out here. So you guys retreat back into the aft section of the fishing vessel, where you find a surprisingly comfortable little chamber This vessel keeps its front decks are wide and stocked with fishing equipment, even and some barrels flowing with dead fish. But the back portion is quite well kept. Looks like the captain and his crew like to keep a neat and a tidy, orderly place. It almost this common room, it seems, almost resembles a tavern in some ways. Uh, there's a hearth in the back that vents out of a chimney sort of thing off the back of the ship. There are a couple of tables with comfortable looking chairs about them. It's warm and inviting, and inside you step in, you are embraced by this nice warmth. And Red gestures over to one of the chairs or one of the tables. Let's take a seat. Scarlet goes and like drags the other table over and like combines them together, pulls the chairs around, and the like 8 of you now you all make your seats around these two small wood tables as the hearth fire flickers about in the chamber about you, and you feel the vessel rock as you head back out to sea. So first of all, where have you all been?
Well, all over the place. It is almost as crazy to describe all the places as we have been, as I'm sure it is how you have tracked us down. We have been not easy to find.
Now I met Red yesterday, and we got to talking, and well, I had come up. I suppose, should I give you the bad news first?
Yes, because I'm really curious, and I'm not
Okay.
gonna. My brain won't shut up until you tell me.
I mean, I'm very curious, but I should say you want the bad news first. So, well, let's do the bad news then. So here's the thing. You've heard at this point probably that the Western Isle of the Twins has fallen. But it's worse than that.
Of course it is.
There's a new force that has arisen within the ranks of the Empire, in the Osikovian Empire. It is said that one of their generals, General Anton Azerovich, wields a terrible, strange power. They say that he summons the powers of the gods, calls down destruction from the skies upon his enemies. And they're pushing for the Eastern Isle as we speak. If it falls, that means that Ozdakov will have a fortified foothold just off the Kazwinik mainland all winter long. And that is terrible positioning. It would be a threat like never before to Kazwin and other areas as well. And the world's taken notice. Very recently, the High King of Wolfgard has marshaled his western bannerlords, marshalling the troops and reinforcing his coastal forts. And Iratha is preparing right now to launch a defensive fleet to guard its shores. This is the closest that we've been to a second breaking in 753 years. So the situation is bad, to say the least. So John sent me and another guild member, a newer guild member, none of you have met him yet, to come here to gather information for the guild and to assist Kazwin in whatever ways we see fit. So far, we've come up through Lockton, made our way north, gathering intelligence through Streamwood, where we have helped root out a couple of cells, Voslikovian spies, which they really do get around, don't they?
We've done the same. We've rooted out at least one spy or a cell of spies.
Well, yeah, one sect, but that's not the first one we've run into.
Aye. Of course. They're everywhere, they seem to be. They're like rats. They get into all the cracks. But now we're up here. I happened to be staying in a village down the road, and word came through of an interesting group arrived at Bervik. And I overheard whispers that some of them might be involved with the guild. So I was surprised and thought I should go check that out because I'm with the guild. So I head to the tavern. I meet Braid here. We get talking, and wouldn't you know it,
Here we are.
here you all are, returned from the edge of the world, as he tells it. It's true. Edge right of the world. Go any further, you'll sail off. No, that's not true. It's around. I'm not an idiot. Anyhow,
Yeah.
anyhow,
Oh, we got up
that's,
there, yeah.
that's how we got here, and that's the bad news. So, this other member, he's off. He's back in the village where I came from, doing a couple of other errands, talking with the locals a bit about what they know, and he should be up here soon enough. But he and I are about to head to the front fairly soon, out in the west. There's a certain I have heard fiery young a fiery young thane of Caswin who has taken up rather strict control of their armies and is rather upheaving some of the traditions of the areas. And although I'm not exactly sure what all of that entails yet, it sounds like someone is stepping up to take charge in a big way over there. So we need to go and Kaskin and I, my associate, need to go and find out exactly what that is and what it means for the war and what it means for us at the guild. After you left, we at Redbane, John and I wished to begin recruiting more heavily, because in a period of peace and relative slowness, we hadn't recruited a whole lot for a few years until you lot came along. And then after you left, there comes a big fellow, a Goliath fellow. There's there's a rather dashing elf man with this who has this giant badger with him. There's this absolutely completely mad tinkerer man. He's maniacal as you can possibly even conceive of, and he did a bit of work for us. He's not actually joined up, but we're keeping him out there just in case we need him, because tensions are rising. So, and then there's this new fellow who's up here with me. I don't know. You may meet him before long, but he and I are going to go to the front before long.
That is
We'll
a lot
see.
of news. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is a lot of news.
I'm sorry to dump all of it on you all at once.
No,
But
I'm rather relieved. I thought you were going to say the guild burned down, everyone died, and we're on our own now.
that did not happen, and
I was worried it was that, and you need to come back right now and help us fight the fight.
No, thank goodness. The trouble around Mernington seems to have left with you, but we made sure to fortify a bit. In fact,
Yes.
we're building up the guild walls a bit.
Really? This seemed stable enough for me. Yeah.
At John's direction, we've hired a few masons, beginning to increase our fortifications a bit. So, yeah, these are uncertain times.
How much have you heard of our little adventure?
Ray and I over drinks last night. He told me that I asked him, give me it in broad strokes, and he told me that you all set out on a grand adventure from Hammercrest. How did you put it? you washed hither and thither over the surface of the world until you ended up at the Isle of Giants, which is a big thing because
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who's ever been there. That is the edge of the world, really. Isle of
Yeah, for
Giants.
sure.
What was
Yeah,
it
hell.
like?
Well, everything was really big. Everything was really big.
That sounds about right.
And it was really hard. And uh,
Most of the people there we met there were quite kind and helpful,
Yes.
yeah,
but
Well, that's
it's
very nice.
very
Sure.
strong
dangerous.
warriors.
I've never have heard much about what giants are like, but
They're cautious but friendly.
They are one big family of very large people that have their own set of traditions that we might find weird. But once you're in that family, it's nice, it's enjoyable.
Wouldn't mind going there myself someday. And what did you say? You went into a dungeon.
We
He said
went
he'd let
into
you
what
tell
made
you the juicy details he'd leave to you.
we went into what may be the deepest hole in the world.
Aside from Morris' mother.
Well, she's in a deep hole, I suppose. 6 feet.
No, I visited her.
Can't hear you.
Don't worry about it. In fact, cut that part out.
No, I can't hear Nick. I can hear Ian.
Guys,
What?
There it
What?
is.
so Vissa is just horrified at this. Just.
Oh, so you aren't supposed to hear that?
Horrible to see. You could just how could you say such a thing?
No, it's because I love Worth so much that I can say things like that.
And the others, the gunners, just kind of suppressing their
Showing your true colors, view.
Suffer.
I see.
at this inappropriate
Sorry.
dress. And Scarlet just, yeah, okay.
What do you know of the foe we're up against? The dangers that we're fighting.
I know that we only what reports I've gotten so far. I have yet to see even the forces firsthand, other than the spies. I only know that he has some sort of he wields some sort of terrible power. He's using it to
No.
begin conquering.
What do you know of the people that we have been fighting against?
Yes,
The reason
we
we've
have
gone
not
to
been,
the Isle of Giants.
we have not been dealing directly with the Oslo Code, so we've been dealing with another group.
And I suspect that it may be connected.
Yeah.
But we don't know for sure.
Okay, you've just gone completely outside of my realm of knowledge on what is going on. You left. The last thing I knew is you were taking this sweet girl to meet her uncle right here. And that's it.
Yeah.
How'd that go? You found him and you're still together.
You should see the things that Worth has learned since we've left.
You know that like really, really evil stuff that got men into the walls of Redbane and like killed a bunch of people?
I do know.
Worth has just been playing with that. Just like, hey, this is fun.
Has he?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And he's been doing it more and finding artifacts down in the depths of the world.
Dude,
and just like, I think I'll play with this and reap the benefits of its corruption.
And he wears it on his head.
Does he?
Mhm.
Is that what the helm thing was?
That's what the helm is. He's got it all over him. He's got trinkets and helms and swords and staves and just absolutely corrupting himself to death.
I want to use
Do a trick.
thaumaturgery thingy.
All right, thaumaturgy. What do you produce with your thaumaturgic?
I have a question about. So it says you cause flames to flicker, bright and dim. So does that have to be an existing flame, or do I?
You can do a lot of different stuff that is not necessarily right under the definition. I'd say you can create like an illusory flame.
Okay.
Like, or whatever.
I went to what's the range on this? Like area of 30 feet.
Should say, yeah, 30 feet.
So we're in this room. I want to encircle us with like an illusionary flame, if possible,
Yeah. So
just for a moment.
Scarlet says, "Do a trick," and you kind of, poof, and snap your fingers, and around the table come these motes of flame, these like bluish green flames. They last for a few seconds and then poof out in just little puffs of smoke. Ha ha! Bravo, Warith.
Thank you.
Oh, poor Bew, you about killed him.
Bew is over in a corner hyperventilating like like a kitten that heard a loud thunderstrike.
You like hit the deck after this. Well, I thought it was pretty, poor Bew.
That was from my mother.
Haha, fitting. That's funny. She has her revenge. Okay, so put it to me in a fairly. What have you been up against? Why are you still all together? Why did you go to the Isle of Giants?
So after we met Brecken, we learned of a force that was behind these riders that chased Vissa into the Red Band Guild.
I mean, I don't mean to interrupt, Worth, but in broad strokes, we can get a little bit more detailed. In broad strokes, the people who are chasing Vissa were a lot more serious than just chasing Vissa. They're a lot more serious than that, and so we've been dealing with that.
I had secretly worried that since I saw the things they were capable of. But I tried to push it out of mind. Now you have brought it back. I'm sad to see its truth.
We don't really have any strong evidence that they are working with the Oslokovians, aside from the fact that it is all happening at the same time, you know? This is all going on at the same time.
I see. At this point, Brecken, if you like, I could explain to you further and in much greater detail, if you like, about it. And he pulls out a book and opens it, and it's like one of his notebooks where he's kept like all of the lore you have so far. He says, and for the next hour, perhaps, Brecken goes over in extreme detail just about everything you have gone through.
And he says, "You signed up for an hour, this buddy."
He speaks these things, and afterwards,
this is a montage we were.
Okay.
Scarlet sits back and says, "Okay, so if I have this right, you are in pursuit of 5 shards that will form a weapon that was originally meant to destroy this world tree, this keeper of balance, whatever it actually may be, that was forged by an ancient race that used to dominate Cirrus. And your purpose is to take this and lock it away into a different plane of existence where this pilgrim inhabits. And he wants to do that.
Pretty much.
Because he created it and now sees the error of his ways, wants to get rid of it. Then there's this other group that doesn't. And they both want it. And you have to get it before them. I guess is that it? Am I getting
pretty
that?
much?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And if we fail, they'll probably enslave the entire world.
Yeah, they are a
Or destroy it all.
Destruction is more how I read it.
Yeah, most likely.
They think
I was trying to be optimistic.
They think that they are like going to burn it all, and that after they do that, that it will by itself spontaneously become better next time. They really believe it.
In however many years it takes for everything burned to be nothing burned again.
There has to be
Yes, there's glow in
something.
the dark.
If everything burns, what is there to come back?
Yeah, well, it'd be from the Underdark, right? The little buckets of things locked away where, the streams came from. Scarecrow and them.
I'm pretty sure they view those things as unnatural as well.
Sure, I'm sure they do, but they can't get all those little buckets of life under there.
The way I think of it is that the way this thing they call a tree works is that if it's removed, then the natural balance, like like storms and weather and lightning and thunder, all go completely mad and will just wash over the whole world, thus destroying everything in the process. And then when that tempest ends, that is when they believe that life will begin anew in some way, and it will be better the second time around because the natural order has been restored. Izid took it and ruined it. And I think it's all bollocks, obviously. Things are not great, but I don't think that destroying everything will improve anything in any way.
Well, we have no one here to experience how improved it is because we'll all be dead.
And I kind of think that's their idea.
All the face steel might melt away, that would be good.
Won't be good for any of us. We'll be dead.
Actually,
yeah, that part isn't great, but the like all the face steel gone, that might be okay. That might be fine. Seekers did nothing wrong.
It's mad to me how someone can believe something so patently bonkers, off your head to believe it. But I guess that's what they do when you're brainwashed into this extremism. Absolutely insane. Well, there you are, Scarlet. I know that I went on at some length. I could use some water. He goes and gets a drink. Also, you almost died of a disease.
Yeah,
he almost turned into a plant.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that you can just... It happened.
He got bit by a thing in the underground place they went, and then afterwards, he sprouted all these little vines out of his skin.
I still have the scars, yeah.
And they wrapped around him and almost killed him and turned him into a strange plant.
It's not like battle scars either. They're all these little pucks in the skin. Like, look at it's just like a puck, like an indentation, and it's not filled back up. It's been...
Does it hurt?
No. I mean, it was miserable. It did hurt.
You had a chance at self-improvement and he threw it away.
Oh, that is absolutely terrible. I don't even want to talk about it. All right.
Yeah, it could have been cool and viney.
And I ground about it. You should have seen me, Scarlet. It was great. I bet it was.
She kicked his blood. She's really come of it. She's been learning the spears and the swords. She kicked Wareth right into the teeth, and it was good for him.
She says, "Yeah, I'm going to fight like a monk." Well, good for you. I'm certain you can do it. You're talented. Brecken's just like, you're encouraging her. Kids.
Wareth is delighted by Brecken's discomfort.
Oh, I can see that.
That's what we've been up to. And we just were at this island that you picked us up from and fought some things. That was nice. That was fun.
Oh yes. How did this all? So what this was the island where that ordered the Seekers. They originated from here. And
yeah.
you found some interesting things?
Yeah, we found some things. We found information and things that Brecken likes.
I've got a lot of reading to do.
Yeah, point us in the direction of where we're going to be going next. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to say, but then there's as much that is palpable for a conversation.
Also, their current leader flies around on a wyvern.
Yep.
Taking all of these things in. Okay, wyvern. Like what kind of wyvern?
Like a big one, like
Scary one?
like a big dragon, like a big dirk, yeah. Cliff dirk.
It breathes fire, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, of course it does.
yeah.
He wouldn't be
we
a
were-
cool big bad guy if it didn't breathe fire.
Yeah.
Warren.
I mean, that's really the mark of it, yeah.
Quite.
Who's the bad one? The one that's on the dragon that shoots fire.
Rides the draconid and it goes. Of course, he's the bad guy. Ah,
Just look for the
Warren
dirk.
is gonna have a pet wyvern.
what the world? Warith is
Which-
going to.
Yeah, I mean that just proves to everyone.
Oh yes, says Red. You're going to have a talk about that when you get back together with Graciela.
It's not hatched, is it?
No, at least not when I left, but growing increasingly uneasy about the entire situation of it existing. She wants to speak with you about it.
What else?
Red, you don't know how to take care of wyverns, do you?
No.
Raise them, teach them to fight. Be pretty useful. I mean,
Sure,
it's an
just
ice
like a
wyvern.
I
That'd be a nice counter to the fire thingy.
True.
I had a cat when I lived in down in the Midlands. I had a cat, so I'm sure the skills will translate.
Absolutely. They're vicious beasts as well.
Yeah, it's true. They are. But taming wyverns, I've heard from my limited knowledge, is a thing that can be done, but like you have to know what you're doing, and I don't. You have to make it imprint on you, like young things do. But even then, I've heard that as life goes on, it can be unpredictable. Like it could just snap at any minute. Like you're never quite safe, even if you're like cuddling with it, and you're like, oh, I've raised this thing since it was a hatchling. Certainly, it won't eat me and tear me into several pieces and blast me with its ice breath. That's kind of the
Not
And
to
then it
show
does.
from it.
Yeah, so we just have emergency food, either omelets or baby steaks.
Oh, that's terrible.
Or perhaps a man of your skill and talent, Red, would know where to sell such an unhatched creature.
That is something that I know is difficult to do, but I could perhaps attempt to throw out some lines. So to sell that thing, you asked the lock traders at the High Islands Trading Post about it, and they said they would take a few weeks to even establish a contact. But thank you for asking me about it at this point. In my opinion, if you're going to find a buyer for that place, it's going to be someone rich, obviously. They could live in some place. They could live someplace on Caswin, someplace like Blackrock, or Estimate, but it could also be someone down in the Triumvirate. Some rich Trenzian noble with his taffeta and whatever. He'd be the kind of bastard to buy a wyvern egg, having no idea what he's getting himself into.
A real narcissist, yeah, a real evil, mean dude.
Oh yeah, real
The type to have a wyvern, yeah.
They're big, rich, they got their estates and they think that it'll be fine if they just have a wyvern around,
Yeah.
and it ends up not being fine at all.
It comes with a type, yeah.
So basically,
Real
Warren,
Warren
but with
type,
money.
Basically, Warith with money. If Warith had money and was born into like a Trenzian a big transient bourgeoisie family, he would be like, I want this wyvern, and release it onto his estate, and then it would absolutely eat him and all his livestock. That
Yeah. So you know anybody like that?
Yeah, we know one right now, and I will go for it.
And he already has a wyvern egg.
Yes, but unfortunately, I'm on the move. I'm more of a wanderer, the aimless, noble.
Rogue.
Yeah. I don't have a house,
A roguish rogue.
a land to keep and
we
train
live on
this
a
thing.
ship,
We have-
as do I. That is our house.
We have a island you could keep it on.
But
Yeah,
I'm
you
not.
technically do have a house.
I'm not there. I'm on the ship. I can't
Just
raise
put
the
it-
thing on the ship.
Just put it on the island, and then come back when it's, and then you take a job from the nearby town to kill the wyvern, and you just make money. It's a money making scheme.
But it depends on where we go.
Not bad.
Wherever we go, I can probably throw out some feelers, see if I can get a line on any rich idiots.
Okay.
All depends on where you go next. So, oh, and speaking of the speaking of the ship, it's in bad condition. It's not doing great. It's going to take a bit while longer than we thought to repair. It's at least 2-week repair, perhaps 2.5. It's expensive, and yeah, that serpent really did a number on it.
Well, we'll do some money raising, and when we get back, we'll have plenty of time to do it.
Perhaps the sale of a wyvern egg would help.
They've started the basic repairs. Once we get back there, you can talk to the harbour master, the shipyard master, and Graziella. As far as a rebuilding of the ship, is there anything we want to like add or improve upon? Those things can be had for a price. This isn't the best shipyard around, but it is the only shipyard around. So
Bigger
that's
No,
bigger distillas.
We smell what you're stepping in, yeah.
but I think that I feel like they do good work for what they've got, and they've got a few offerings of services and skills they offer. Graziella seems a bit interested, but it all depends on the coin, really.
I'm sure we
So-
can get some point.
So speak with her when we get back to Berevik, and you ought to see the poor ship. It's in a state. In a state. So they've booked an inn.
Oh,
basically.
That's how bad it is that you can't even be on the ship right now?
Well, no, not with all the workmen and deckhands all about it.
Yeah.
People rebuilding all these things. We've taken to staying at a lovely little inn, and it fits well. An inn and also another inn. it fits us. It fits us all. Some of us have to pack in rooms. No
But
big deal.
I bet we could sell some of the horses. Make some money off of them.
We've got the horses. You've got the barding. You could sell that. Barding is expensive. Just throwing that out there. Did you surely you found some interesting things up there you could sell?
Yeah, trinkets, yeah. But we might be able to get something out of them. The we found like one of each type of gem. It feels like those are just ridiculous trifles that we could sell, but also it feels like maybe we could hold on to them. They're a solution to something.
You can.
You can pry them away from war.
That would be the thing, yeah.
That fetches a pretty jack. Those things of yeah.
It could be keys used in a puzzle later. You know, these seekers.
And then we have to come all the way back here and find out who the tradesmen sold the items to, and then we have to go track down where the gems went and just steal them off of them. But then we get coin
Sounds rather fun.
for the gems, and then we get to go on a robbing spree. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, all right then.
Well, all right then. And evening time has fallen at this point, and Red says, "I'm off to bed. All the lodgings in the lower deck, in the back. It's cramped, but no, yeah, it does smell. No, it's not comfortable, but it's warm. Well, not warm, but yeah, just go find your beds.
Okay,
We
then.
gotta.
And they head off. You and the crew down to the lower deck, where you find it is not warm, it is not comfortable, and does not smell good. But it's a place to lie your head for the night.
It is not a tower that is drafty and filling up with snow.
Precisely. So you spend the
Yeah,
night
real
there,
shame.
wake to dim light through the portholes, and even then you see bits of snow collecting on the sills of the portholes. There's one on each side of that chamber down there. And you wake all within a few minutes of each other. What would you like to do with your day?
I want to go up out on deck and look to see what I can see.
You go up there. Currently, they're not actually trawling for fish anything or anything. It seems that they have been hired to get you back to Berovik within the as quickly as possible. So you should have a day of traveling. But roll a perception check as you stare out upon the waves, looking dapper and dashing. That
As
was
always. Ooh, 24.
24. Out upon the waves of the morning, you definitely sense bad weather following. Perhaps very bad weather. Just like right in your wake, and you begin to see almost a shimmery cloud of snow and ice falling, as if it's pursuing you. Though you don't sense anything arcane in its nature, but you can tell the weather turn and the sea more choppy.
Beautiful weather, Aorath.
And there are a few of those high cries that you recognize at this point as being cliff drake, the whines of cliff drakes. They're out there. They haven't. No, you don't know if they've located you or not, but they are out there.
Is there a dude in a crow's nest here?
No, it's this is just a single mast, or no, it's a two mast ship, but there's not actually a crow's nest. Sorry. There's like a guy like halfway up, kind of on the rigging, but no formal crow's nest. This is much more of a fishing vessel, less long range travel, more just trawling waters around Berovik.
Did he? I can't hear him anymore. Is it frozen for you as well, Ian?
I'm frozen. Can you hear me?
We
I
do.
heard that.
It's just God. I hate my internet so much. Anyhow, so yeah, it's less of a long range ship and more of just a fishing trawler. So less of a crow's nest or watch positions.
Okay. Then I am keeping an ever vigilant eye on the skies.
Certainly. What the rest of you guys doing as you this morning?
I'm just enjoying the ship. Just being back on site.
Down there in the hold, you see Vissa and Scarlet sat together in a corner, speaking in low tones. Brecken in his little bunk, poring over books, reading, and the others. Elizabeth is still sleeping. Valdemar is somewhere.
Leave them alone. Let them do their own thing.
What do you do, Mirwin?
I am going to take out that snake bottle.
Oh, the with the dwarven
And-
writing on
I'm gonna drink it.
it. Okay. Okay, you find it. He gave it to you in your pack, right? You begin to you take that thing out again, and the with the dwarven writing on it and stuff, it begins to catch your attention. You break the wax seal, pop the cork. It's only about this big. And do you drink it? You.
Does it smell like something I would drink?
It smells like. Sorry, jeez. It smells almost like a cooking oil with a little bit of herb in it,
Yeah, I'll drink it.
but somehow spicy. You
That's it. Well,
you drink it down. You
And
feel
then I
a
fall over dead.
you feel a growing warmth in your belly, as if you've swallowed a lot of strong liquor, even though you only just swallow this maybe less than a shot. Roll a d2, and by that I mean flip a coin.
I don't have a coin.
Are you flipping your phone?
Something with heads and tails.
You could do evens and odds.
Evens and odds.
2.
That's odd, right? No, wait, no, that's even.
That's even.
Stop.
That's even.
it's odd that you think it's odd.
Hey, it was a momentary lapse in my mathing abilities. Worse than usual. I'll admit. I know ones are odd. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13.
Anyway, she rolled 2.
This power surges into your veins, and just you feel it infuse you through your blood. Your lungs fill with fresh air, and your nerves light up all the way into your brain. And
I have a seizure and die.
you feel this resilience, like almost even the cold seems less cold all of a sudden, and your constitution score in
What?
Yeah, you cut
Your mic cut out at the end, but I understood what you said.
You said Constitution score, and then it cut out.
Oh,
Yeah, it's still out.
You said improves by 1.
Did he?
score increases by 1.
Okay.
So is it like a +1 to her modifier, or is it a 13 goes to 14 kind of a thing?
That's
Or
but in your case,
Go from a 17 to an 18, which would improve the modifier by 1, right?
I think so. Even or odds to evens improves.
in your con is going from a 17 to an 18. So you can enter that into that whenever you like. I believe that does improve you to a +4 mod.
Yeah, you'd have to go into edit.
Yeah, I hit the wrong thing.
Okay.
Awesome.
There you go.
I'm sorry, buddy. 2. That's odd.
I'm never gonna live it down. So with this,
Go up by 1.
with this,
That's tasty.
you guys go ahead and do that while I pee.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I want to make coffee. But I don't want.
Yeah, okay, I changed it. Yep, and then
And
go to that one, I think.
everybody left.
There.
Yeah, the ranger got a bunch of buffs, and continue. All right, we're back, and we left off after Mirwin drank the snake potion, and felt a lot more built afterwards.
No, and you're looking good. You've got muscles on your muscles. More muscles than you did before.
You kind of witness Mirwin take their drink this thing, and she's like, oh.
Then I let out a really loud, long burp. Ugh.
Just this
Oh,
projecting
no.
dwarven burp.
Oh no, we are not ever going to get any more sleep again. Your snores are going to be just that much worse.
Sorry.
Are you really?
No.
This is going to be bad. We're going to need like a tube that we can put down your throat so you can breathe properly.
Or we could put her in a giant tube.
And
That's-
and aim the tube at their enemies so that they're always afraid.
As you guys are kind of conversing in the below decks, a deckhand comes around, passes out some hardtack, hard nasty bread crackers to you guys. Heads back upstairs. There's a small cask of ale down there. You guys kind of pour a little bit. Take some. It's not very good. Take some bread and ale for your breakfast.
Bread and ale.
Good time.
No, we haven't met the captain of this vessel. Do you think that's an important thing to do, or do you think that it's just?
I mean, we kind of saw him. Yeah, we should go meet.
Like
Probably.
actually meet him.
Yeah.
Probably we should, yeah.
You've met him, Raiden. How do you think?
Nice fellow.
Yeah.
He'd like to meet you. He's sort of a hands-off kind of guy. He likes
Oh,
his own, sticks to his own crew, but was welcoming enough to take us on.
Oh yeah, when you pay him money, yeah, for sure. Is that the dwarf gentleman?
Well, that
Halfling.
halfling. Ah, yeah.
Not
that half-
dwarf.
It's little folk,
I'm a dwarf. He's a halfling.
So
Duh.
I thought he was so small, and I thought I had it right.
She's gonna like squish you down to halfling size.
Remember that time we saw a human and we thought he was like a halfling or something?
Which is really short.
He was just really short and he got so offended.
Well, it's
Hey, wait a minute.
a
So,
thing that can happen.
I was gonna say, are there humans with dwarfism in this world?
Yes.
Just dwarfs, yeah.
Raven
so-
is a dwarf.
Yeah, what is the difference? In all honesty, what is the difference? Can you have human parents and then be born into halfling race just because of the way that you are?
so, Bracken. All right, let's talk about the birds and the dire bees.
No, I don't think we need that. I don't think we need that.
Yes,
we need that.
we do.
I think
Well,
what we are asking is if they can be just get turned into another race because they are small.
No.
Grandfathered in,
Dwarfism in humans is a physical disability. They're born with it. They're not actually dwarves.
And dwarfs share a lot of the same attributes as dwarfed humans. So
They
yeah,
don't, though. Not really. No, they don't actually.
grow big beards,
They
strong
can grow
muscles.
beards if they like, but they're not actually related in any way. Now, dwarves and humans can't procreate together. Just doesn't work.
sorry, Mirwin.
Doesn't work the way humans and elves can. Humans and elves can procreate. That works. Humans and dwarves, no. Humans and halflings, no. Humans and gnomes, no. Doesn't work. Humans and orcs, however, it does work.
Creepy.
Humans are just great.
I don't understand the science behind it. I'm not. I'm not a scientist. I'm a scholar.
What about elves and orcs then?
From what we know, no. There are rumors of a thing called a quarterling. I don't know if it's true, but that's
Oh, like half elf and a half orc.
I believe a quarterling is half halfling and half dwarf. But mostly these species don't mix very well.
Yes, if humans and elves can do things, and humans and orcs can do creepy things, why can't elves and orcs?
Science is weird, am I right?
We need a Noah's Ark. 2 of each. And then we just go on a big voyage.
They can
Did you say a Noah's orc?
work. That's very clever. Okay, I mean, they can technically copulate, but it doesn't result in any sort of children.
Ah,
So, yeah, if you're a human and you'd love to get with a dwarf, you can do it, but you're not gonna have any offspring. It's just the way it is. I'm just telling facts.
Stop looking at me, Worth.
Gross, Wareth. Gross. No. She's like your sister, or like your aunt or mother. She's like your aunt.
She's like your grandma.
Probably old enough to be.
She's old enough to be your grandmother twice over.
And by that, Mirwin, I mean that you are so wise and you have the grandmotherly wisdom. Not
Thank
that you're wrinkled and old and gross. You are not that.
I'm just old
Just old
and
and
gross.
wise. You're not gross.
one day I will likely be as old as you.
Your circle at this point has grown to include Valdemar, who's like, interesting. Elizabeth, who is sitting completely amused, and Vissa, who is hiding behind a book. Kind
This, you keep like getting into these conversations where we're obviously going to say heinous things, and then you get so offended.
I was just sitting here reading a book.
I am just saying this. You are setting yourself up to be offended, man. You are setting yourself up to be
I
offended.
don't mean to be. Scarlett's kind of just.
Well, I think our group has gotten big enough that we should talk about more important things other than, you know.
I will save the rest of my questions for another time.
It is.
Are you going to approach Brecken later? Quietly?
Tell me about it. It is early afternoon, and you hear a shout from up above, and it says, "Lando!"
Ray.
Oh yeah, we never went and met our captain.
Let's go do that real quick before we land.
You head upstairs, up deck, and there is that stout-looking halfling. You see now that that he wears a plaid across the shoulders and down about. Wears a kilt as well, high boots, big axe, and a beard styled in a dwarven style. Looks like he may come from a bit of a dwarven background, though he is a halfling. Wears this long fur cape. He turns, sees you lot. Says, come to join us, Lost.
I lean over to Wareth and quietly say, Dwarf want to be.
I don't react to that.
It's wise. Oh no.
He doesn't seem to hear you. But you head up on deck, up to where the after castle where he is. So you're the ones that we've gone through this trouble for.
Yes. Sorry for not coming to thank you earlier.
Oh, there's no matter. I was talking with my crew up here. All I care about is that we get paid for this voyage.
Of course. Of course.
And how much was the promised pay for this voyage? Yeah.
Hi, buddy. I got a puppy visiting me.
I heard his nails tick, 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 tick,
Tick,
tick.
tick, tick. He's
We
doing.
paid him in a puppy.
Why is there a puppy on the ship?
Where does it poop?
On the poop deck, yar.
Bridge is paying me all of 50 gold for this voyage, so obviously I accepted it.
Absolutely. Fair price.
The name is Bruno, by the way, Bruno Kleber.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Mars.
Okay. Be off with you now.
Bye.
I reach into my bag and give him 50.
Why ever did you do that?
Because you are getting paid right now. Don't worry about what Raid owes you, because I am taking care of it.
You're all even then. Thank you. Stuffs
Of
it.
course.
Go and do his pack.
Thanks for coming and getting us, and then feeding us. That is, sharing your ale is very nice.
Oh, we're hospitable folk.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
the,
thank you.
Not the warmest, but we treat our guests right. Anyhow, he turns back to face the oncoming sea, and there you do see as you face the coast, it comes into view slowly out of the fog. That rocky Keswinic shoreline in those tall, dramatic cliffs, the lot of rises and falls, and what you see ahead of you, it looks as if the landscape goes ahead into a bay, but outside of the bay, there are 5 very tall.
We can't hear you.
muted.
Man. Can't
Oh,
hear
he
you.
can't hear us. No one can hear anybody.
I can hear you, Ian.
I can hear you, but Nick can't hear us. And we can't hear him.
Okay, where did we last leave off?
4
said-
very tall.
Yeah.
Yes, 5 very tall,
5.
maybe 200-foot high pillars. They look almost like they're might be naturally carved by the wind and the sea, as the. Is it happening again? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, your picture's frozen, but we can hear you fine.
Almost like the island of the monastery itself, kind of that towering, twisting way, but these are much thinner, though still considerable in their girth. It's almost like they form a wall between you and the town beyond. And what you see of the town beyond is I've got this throat cough today. What you see of the town beyond is sort of an upsloping hill, and at the front of it is a large occupied shipyard with many buildings. There are cranes. There are skeletons of ships in construction or in repair. And let me get this ready here.
Are the other towers natural or man-made?
They appear to be natural.
Neat.
Boop. And in the Discord, you will see naturally the map of Berevik.
Berevik.
It is walled, this city. There's a long line of docks, most of which is the shipyard, and a small portion of which is for fishing boats.
Such a good town generator, isn't it? It's such a good one.
It looks like those 3 piers up to the northeast are the fishing piers, and the rest of them are the shipyards, the big ones. Harbor buildings, cranes, ship beds where you see men working and on crafting. And there, in one of the stalls, you see a badly beaten larkspur. It is in rough shape, still looks to be in the initial phases of its reconstruction and repair. Pieces of the hull have been torn or fell off and are starting to be replaced with new siding. And there are workmen up upon these sails. The sails themselves are gone off of the ship altogether. The masts have been repaired, It looks like the masts are in much more decent shape than when you left them off. So overall, the ship is still poorly, but it is being repaired. There are cranes and such working on it, men high up and down. And there's the Larkspur. You weave in between two of these pillars and dock over at the fishing section. Coming in. What do you do?
I wave, but there's no one on it probably that I know.
Nobody knows you on the. Nobody notices you even on the Larkspur. You're like at the other side of the docks now. It's way over hundreds of feet away. And you wave, but nobody even sees you.
Pretty uncharacteristic for you, Worth, to wave joyfully at no one.
I was in a waving mood.
It's unbruting of you. It's strange, you know?
Don't worry, I won't let it happen again.
Yeah. Just, I'm checking you before you wreck yourself.
Nick?
How about now? How about now? How about now? How about now? How about now?
How about now?
Yeah, we're back.
There it is.
Oh, I have just about had it. Continue on. Sorry.
I waved at them and no one was there.
Yes.
And then I was like, that's weird of you. James.
I was like, yeah, sure was.
All right. So you guys leave the ship, head down onto the docks and into the harbor district, where now it is beginning to snow quite heavily, as if from behind you a great cloud is overtaking the sky and beginning to drop big flakes of snow, heavier winds following you.
I went to say goodbye to the ship we're on and disembark to go find the inn where the crew's staying.
A few of the fishermen wave at you. The captain gives you a pum pum of his axe and a nod of the head.
I
see
nod
Red.
back.
You see
Thank you,
Ray
sir.
bid him farewell as well, and the rest of your crew head down off and make your way into town. What do you do?
Follow Red to the inn.
Yeah, Scarlet following us as well.
Presumably Scarlet, yeah.
Scarlet, all the rest. You are currently in that district that's called the Yards, basically all the shipyards. That whole front there, there's like the docks and the shipyards, and then opposite there's this wide street that goes parallel to the docks, and on the other side there are a bunch of storefronts, house fronts, taverns and inns, and one of them that you see is a large building. Looks like it's a 3-story inn in sort of a block of buildings, and from it hangs a sign that says "The Stumble Inn." And Red says, "Stumble in that soon. Most everyone's in there."
Let's go.
Yeah. I think I could go for some more ale. Yeah.
Speaking of none of that, I have to pee real quick.
Sure.
Pause.
All right, so the Stumble Inn, this tall building, this in amidst the rest of this waterfront area. Who goes in first?
I mean, you isn't afraid of going in.
All right, so you head on in. Please make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, hey. Good thing I'm good at this. It's going to put me at saving throw. What is my saving throw? Because I'm proficient in that, so it would be 16.
So when you walk in, you notice this strange elevation of 2 steps, and your hoof almost catches but then you deftly maneuver right over it, and into the inn,
I don't tell anybody about it.
where you see behind the bar two guys are like point over at him. And he's like, "He made it."
I don't.
Who's next through the door?
I don't
I
tell
already rolled.
any of.
I already rolled my dexterity saving throw. It was a
Yes.
17.
Oh,
Or if you pass right behind him, and you as well, almost take a tumble on this little hop step that's just wrong in relation to the others. But you make it in as well, and the other guys are like, and you see a couple of coins being exchanged.
I rolled a nat 20.
And Mirwin, you glance right, you glaze right over it, noticing their success in front of you, and passing. Following behind you, you three get clear into the inn, and you hear a plunk behind you.
I look back for Vissa, who's
Has fallen completely on her face. And the guys behind the bar are like, "Hey!" And then they and one of them, this big burly human guy, rushes over with this big mug of ale and hands it to Vissa as she's getting up. He goes, "Free drink."
I'll reach down to help her up.
You help her up, and all of a sudden she's like unsteadily on her feet with this huge ale in one hand. And he's like, "Welcome to the Stumble Inn. You have stumbled in. You get a free drink."
if I had known that was the case, I would have,
Stumbled.
yeah.
And the rest of them behind you, come on in without any problem, except for Valdemar, who intentionally falls. I've fallen. Oh, I've fallen. And you gotta give him the free.
I think that they would know by now, Val. I think that they would know. Oh wait, no, you're new. Okay, yeah.
I am new, yeah. Within
I
Sorry,
wink at Valdemar.
He winks back.
Sweetheart.
The inn is actually quite lovely. It's a very warm, open, common room down there. It's large enough for two separate fire pits, and they burn low and hot, and it's warm. There's a stage in the back corner, a semicircular stage, upon which stands a dwarven bard thumping a drum and playing a lute, and beside him there's a halfling with a stringed cello-like instrument, and they're weaving these quite fine tunes. And also among the tables, you see a bunch of faces you recognize, sailors and deckhands, and you don't really get very much further than a couple of steps into the inn before Warith, my favorite. I
I'm
have
struck with
talked to
fear.
you. I am very glad that you are alive. And now we have to have a conversation. How about you come over here to my table?
What do you want to drink, Gareth? I'll bring it over.
I guess this might be my last drink, so how about something strong?
Yeah, I got you. I'll go up to the bar and get something for Wareth and myself.
Yeah, the same guy passes you over a couple tankards, runs you 2 silver, and you hear another voice calling over to you two, Mirwin, Bew, come on, guys, and it's Drasana over in the other corner. I'm glad you're not dead.
So are we.
Yeah, we were about to wear. Hold on, I need to take this to Wareth while he, drinks his last, and then I'll go over it.
Graziella sits, puts her feet up on the on the table. You sit down next to her.
Hi.
So, let's talk about the wyvern egg. And
Here you go, Wareth.
you guys, the rest of you two, you go and join Drasana. And Vissa and the other rest disperse amongst tables. Vissa's goes over to take Scarlet to introduce her to Jasana. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Hey.
A little bit of a short one, but I'm hungry and tired.
Tired of this cursed internet.
And yeah, I have just about absolutely.
If
But
I could turn back
I'm recording
time,
again.
previously,
If I
the
could
day-
find a
the day
way.
before, Brecken takes you aside, you, and he shows you. Shows you one of these, one of those scrolls, with the images of the monks in it. He says, "I found one on staffs that I bet you would find interesting." And he reads a couple of paragraphs out to you. Several techniques on spins, like number 1 through 4 spins, and a couple of long techniques, and a couple paragraphs on defense specifically. And with this information, you meditate a bit, and you can keep meditating if you like before you apply the effect. But the staff of the Shard Keeper, your supremacy die adds you add another supremacy die, and they increase to it's a D6 currently, or D8.
I believe it's a D8. Hold on, let me find it. Give you the exact. D8 bludgeoning. Plus 3 to hit. On your superiority die, 1d8 plus your dexterity modifier.
Okay, your D it now becomes 2d8.
2d8. Awesome.
You have gained another superiority die.
So I can do parry
Parry
twice, is what you're
twice.
saying.
Yep. That is correct.
Awesome.
And that's the end then.